25.19 kilometers in length. It is the second stage for us. Temperature out there has dropped a little. It's still plus degrees though. We're looking at 4 degrees up on the stage. Obviously it's going to be different in various parts because it is up and down there. It's not on a consistent level. Let's see what we see, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. And we said Elfyn Evans making the changes that he's received from the safety note crews and the gravel crews that went through a little bit earlier on. That's committed, isn't it, Bex? You know, Elfyn's still running all softs on that car. He was absolutely chin to the tin there, wasn't it? Flat out through that section, and you know, Elfyn will come into this stage knowing he was quickest through there. There's confidence. Look at all the fireworks. We're heading towards that. It's about 2 kilometers into the stage. And I can't tell you how delighted those fans will be to have heard of a rally car sending it into the stage. This is around the 2 kilometer mark now as we head up.
The Tänak.
Absolutely, we head up the hill. Now you've got to be really careful. You're going uphill. You've got to keep the revs up. You let the revs drop too much. Look at that. You let the revs drop too much that you can stall the car. So
well, that's a lot of fans out there.
There we go, just Elfyn just jumping onto the clutch there just to get the revs up, release it and fire it out of that hairpin. You can lose so much time there, it's just got to keep it neat and tidy. This is classic Monte-Carlo, isn't it, through this section, Bex?
It's tight, it's narrow, but he's continuing to keep the pace, keep that speed high.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, départ en droite, 120.
What can Neuville do here now then? 8.3 seconds adrift of Elfyn Evans' pace heading into this stage. Just one stage completed so far. We're heading into this one, which is just over 25 kilometers in length.
Yeah, Elfyn was just a little bit more committed through there. You know, he was flat in that Toyota Thierry, just having a little lift, and I suspect that will be that super soft tyre that's just on the car. It makes an enormous difference, and he has to protect them.
They've got to have razor focus here. You know, they're trying to keep it away from the Arco, away from everything, and they have, you know, a huge amount of distraction around as well. It has to be absolutely precise here.
Yeah, you know, and there's no better men for the job.
Absolutely.
You know, they have to keep their eyes on the job. Got all the fireworks going off in the background. There's some party going on there. It was neat and tidy from Thierry coming up the hill. I don't think he was able to carry quite as much speed as Elfyn at the very start of the stage, but it was neat and tidy through the hairpins. You saw just the edge of that bridge, just as you were coming out that left-hander into the right, there was just that block that was sat up, and that will be in the notes because it was so easy just to carry too much speed off the previous corner and find yourself heading towards that, and that's where, you know, all of that fine detail in the notes comes into play and makes all the difference.
What I'm keen to see now Sebastian Ogier and Vincent Landais then ready to head into it all.
That's a great shot, look at that. So we're seeing the launch. You can see Seb just finding the biting point. He knew exactly where it was before he fully released the clutch to let the car off the line. And again, those fine details that make all the difference. You know, you drop an extra 2/10 of a second off the line. That's 2/10 you've got to find somewhere in the stage. So it makes all the difference. That's a brilliant shot.
It's an amazing hillside, full of people, full of rally fans who have piled in from everywhere to watch tonight.
He's so precise in his driving, Bex. You just look at the car placement. He's just putting it exactly where he wants it. And I think really that first stage was him just knocking a bit of rust off, just gently easing himself back into the flow of things. Maybe just ran a little bit wide there. Just would have liked to have had the nose of the car tucked into the. Look at that! That's amazing, class, isn't it?
And there we go then. This is Elfyn Evans. He's approaching the final split point up at 22 kilometers right now.
There's a tricky little bridge around the 16.5, 17 kilometer mark. We're hearing there's a little bit of a damp patch there, but it's notoriously tricky. Yeah, just a bit of damp through there. There you go. So, I mean, these are just damp patches, and you're not going to lose any heat out of the tyre just running on those. And
let's see if Ogier has taken any more time back now coming up to this next split point at 13 Ks. He's 4.4 down from Elfyn at the first one. .2 off now. Wow, there we go. It is 40 minutes complete.
14
dead on. Dead.
Elfyn safely through the second stage. You thought you might have left a bit on the first stage, but how was this one for you?
Difficult, really difficult to judge how quickly to go. Conditions very, very mixed. Yeah, we have to wait and see how the others did. Some bits good, some bits not so, but let's see.
Let's take a look at Takamoto Katsuta now then.
That's a great shot, isn't it, of the cars coming up the hill.
The lights of the rally car, the fireworks, the flares.
There's going to be some fantastic still images coming out of that stage. And as I said, brilliant to see all those fans there getting stuck in. Just please, guys, stay safe out on the stages if you are coming out to watch the rally cars throughout the weekend. That's one heck of a party, isn't it, Bexy?
It certainly is out there. They are enjoying themselves.
There's a few quid gone up in fireworks tonight, huh?
I wouldn't like to be paying that bill, but it does look good, so all credit. Okay, that final split now is 4.5 down from Elfyn. Just looking elsewhere as well, Tänak 8.7 seconds slower than Elfyn at 17 kilometers and 6.6 slower than teammate Thierry. Remember, there was only 3.1 between them going in, so that'll be a change of position.
You can see the commitment through that fast left-right section. You know, that's where these cars come into their own. You've got all that aero working, you know, the way the cars are set up, and that's Thierry confident in what he's got underneath him. He can attack the stage. Again, we know he's not running the preferable tyre choice. So, yeah, he dropped 6.8 seconds. 6.8 seconds to Elfyn Evans. Tänak then, 15.1 seconds, dropped 22.5 kilometers into the stage. So struggling a little bit with that car, struggling to find the pace in this stage. We heard...
Yeah, that's quite a drop.
We heard in the previous stage, Bex, that, you know, when he was off the throttle on the brakes, the car was trying to push on a little bit. Maybe that was a mapping issue or something like that. Perhaps he's changed the mapping coming into the stage. Is he still carrying that into stage 2? I'm sure it's a question Emir can drive into him.
We'll find out very shortly. Closing kilometres then for Tänak. We've got 2 drivers through so far. It's Elfyn Evans and Thierry Neuville, with Elfyn fastest. The benchmark time is 14 minutes exactly for these drivers. Already into double figures down here. 17.6 seconds down then from Elfyn Evans this time. 14.6, so 14:17.6 is the overall time. And that does mean he's behind teammate Thierry Neuville now by 7.7 seconds. 22.8 off the lead. Let's hear from Tänak. He did mention that throttle issue at the the end of the first stage.
Right, another 17.6 drop to Elfyn in there. How was that stage, and have you still got the problem with the throttle?
Yeah, it's got really bad now, so yeah. To be honest, very happy to be here. So yeah, all we can say, but yeah, incredible what this thing is doing at the moment. So let's see.
Well, let's see. I mean, they're going to come back to service now. That car can be fully looked at. Here it's a flexi service this evening. We switch to Fourmaux, making his way up the hairpins, the atmospheric hairpins. He had a good start on stage 1. Decent time from Fourmaux.
Yeah, it has been a good strong start from Adrian, and as I said, I think it's brilliant that everyone's just made it through that first stage. Even the later runners that we saw earlier, you know, everybody reasonably unscathed and carrying a healthy car into stage 2. We are seeing that cross of tyre strategy between the softs and the super softs. Sebastian Ogier opting to bolt a super soft onto the car. The one thing I will say for that, Bex, is, you know, that super soft will naturally come up to temperature a little bit early. And we've got to remember, at the start of the stage, they were all sat around for a long time, so any brake temperature, any tyre temperature will have gone. So that super soft will have switched on a little bit sooner. So at the start of the stage, maybe there was a bit of an advantage there. Towards the end of the stage, you know, that super soft will have been starting to cook itself, whereas the soft will, you know, still be in a window of performance that's kind of working for the tyre. But, you know, at the start of the stage, that super soft will certainly have switched itself on a little bit sooner.
I think this tyre strategy is going to be a really interesting one to watch this weekend. You know, for a different reason than the normal tyre strategy we look at Monte. You know, if there's snow and ice around, there isn't this weekend. They've got to hold on to those softs.
This is a rally that's going to be entirely made up of who can look after the tyres best and work out when and where to use the full soft package,
yeah,
or when to run a 2 and 2 or a 3 and 1.
Sebastian, 11.8 drop to Elfyn. A lot of pollution on the first one. Was this one any better?
It seems that it's difficult for us, but yeah, we expected that a bit with this condition. You know, it's obviously better to be in the front, but we had a decent run.
Did you get into a rhythm?
I have a rhythm, but like I say, the road is very dirty very quickly, so we do what we can.
That's a good run from Adrian Fourmaux. You just heard him say to Alex Correa there, yes, as in, yep, come on, next note, next note. He was maybe just a little bit behind, so.
Yeah, I think he can be really satisfied with his runs out there this evening. It's like, I still love this camera angle.
It's brilliant. You
so good.
You get a real sense of the commitment that's required to extract a good stage time. And you could hear Adrian just on and off the throttle, just balancing the car on the throttle through that fast left-right section. Just coming down to the end of the stage now. 22.8 seconds slower, Bexy.
Yeah. So he finishes just behind Taka Katsuta. They were pretty close in the stage. He was up on the final split, but he drops just slightly behind, 0.8 of a second behind Katsuta on the completed time.
Adrian, a great first stage, a solid second stage as well, but not quite as fast as the first one. How was it in there?
Well, there was definitely more dirt in that stage than the previous one. So already the previous one there was a lot of dirt, but this one there was a lot of mud, etc., and it goes in the corner into another corner, so it's worse and worse with the cars. So yeah, conditions was quite tricky. So I was struggling to find the feeling, but it's okay.
Well done, good start.
It's interesting, you know, and that's what I was saying. You could hear him balancing the throttle through that fast left, right, and if you're cutting through that, the speed that you're going at, it just flicks all that mud from the cut up into the middle of the road, behind you. So when you see that, it affects your confidence and how hard you can commit through that fast section. And it's in those quick sections where you can actually leave a lot of time in the stage. You know, if you're not carrying good speed through there relative to everybody else, you have a different speed delta coming out of that, and you can drop an awful lot of time. There's a little bit more pressure on Adrian than there is on Gregoire at the moment. No one's expecting, there's no pressure on his shoulders, no one's expecting him to go out and set the world alight. If he can beat his teammate Adrian, then, well, that changes things a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Yeah, Gregoire's left 12.8 seconds in there relative to Adrian Fourmaux.
Let's take a look then at the stage results for the second stage of Rally Monte-Carlo. Elfyn Evans and Scott Martin taking their second stage win of the season. That's a full sweep this evening for the Toyota pair. Thierry Neuville was second fastest on that stage, then Ogier third fastest, then Tänak, Katsuta, Fourmaux, Munster and Mikkelsen. Overall, after two stages here this evening, Elfyn Evans leads Rally Monte-Carlo. Thierry Neuville is in second position overall, with Sébastien Ogier in third. Tänak drops to fourth position. Adrien Fourmaux is in fifth, with Taka Katsuta in sixth. Then it's Munster and Mikkelsen